Hey guys, it's me, Bren, and in today's video, I want to share with you how my unheated greenhouse right back here, I've been growing in this structure since 2009, late 2009. I think we put it up. Yeah, we actually built the bunny barn, which is attached, and we found this greenhouse, which was used at the time on eBay or Craigslist, something like that, locally. And we've done some additions to it over the year. And then if you follow me, you know, way in the back, I actually have a dome structure I grow in now because I just got totally addicted to growing out of my zone and using a greenhouse. In today's video, I want to share with you how that structure actually held up during a freeze, and it's unheated, and I don't have it packed, as you'll see in the photos and the video here. So here we go. All right, well, there she is, and my poor raised beds around her aren't in perfect shape anymore. Neither is the greenhouse. It actually has some holes in it. We've been doing some research on different covering options that they have on the market today. Like I said, this is an older greenhouse. There have been quite a few people who've gotten a hold of me and said they've been able to find this actual structure, which is really nice. I actually just want to focus on the freeze right now, but let me know. I'm trying to talk my husband into, when we redo this, to lift this up on a knee wall, maybe 3 feet or so would be so nice. I'd have more headroom, and not to mention these sides are vents, and when they open up in the summer, sometimes I get some my kitty likes to go in there, and I've found snakes in there and stuff like that, which is fine, but wouldn't it be so cool if it was taller? Okay, so if you can see here, check out the temperatures where they did drop down into the mid to low 20s one night, and a couple of nights in the low 30s, well around freezing for a couple of hours. I really recommend having a good weather station if you plan on doing gardening like this. It really has been a lifesaver. Before we take a look at how things held up on the inside during this drop in temperature, I'm going to show you these strawberries that I have, and they've been growing beautifully since March, really, and there's beautiful little buds on them, so they're getting ready to produce fruit. So strawberry plants will do just fine outside in the cold. That will be in normal forecast for Ohio. I laugh because what is normal, really? It's not uncommon for us to dip down below freezing this time of year because our last frost date is actually May 15th. So here are the strawberries that were outside, and before the freeze and the snow came, I actually took some straw that I use here in my gardens and covered the tops of these because I didn't want the berries to get ruined. I actually learned this from a local gardener, or a local farmer who does this on the large crops that they have out in the field, and it works well. All right, so here's the morning after the freeze, and the strawberries look great. You want to take and remove as much as the straw, at least the big pieces, and don't get rid of it quite yet because we've still got till May 15th for the frost date, and by then I have some berries, if not harvest some already. I know, we're not in the greenhouse yet. Well, it's kind of good to see what's going on the outside of the greenhouse, just to give you an idea of how a small greenhouse like this one and other ones you can find pretty easily these days. They're everywhere. You can order them on Amazon. You can build your own, which I highly recommend. It's a lot of fun. And anyhow, all right, so right here I've got a bunch of my trees that I recently got from the Soil and Water Conservation District. I always have a hard time with that. I don't know why. So anyhow, I order trees almost every year and start them so I can baby them. It's kind of like my little tree farm. I baby them so the squirrels and the deers and so on can't get at them until they're bigger. They have a better chance that way. So what I've got going on in the bunny shed leading into the greenhouse is my little potting station. So these guys were well protected, not needed. I use recycled containers to pot these up, and especially the conifers like this, I keep close to the greenhouse area here just so they can get a head start before going out. Now, here is the greenhouse right over here. It's not as full as it should be, really. This is just a space where I house my dahlias that I start early. And of course, these little containers here have strawberry root starters in them. Some cool hardy plants that I've gotten locally, which I think by looking at the weather, I'm going to go ahead and start planting these, because I can always throw a sheet over them if we do get down in the cold temperatures again, because these are all cold hardy plants. However, not the basil. The basil gets to stay. The greenhouse is perfect for these. There are annuals in my area, Sonetta, that I'm waiting for them to bloom, and they cannot take freezing temperatures. So this was perfect. I've also started some, look at this. There's some pea seeds in here. By this weekend, I'll probably end up putting those outside as well. They'll do just fine in the cold temperatures. I just wanted to give them a head start here in the greenhouse. I also brought in, because it's in a container, this blueberry shrub I have growing, because it's got some little tiny buds on them, and when it got down in the 20s, this would have definitely not survived that cold weather. So the greenhouse was perfect, and it basically sat right here on the table in here. Here's a good majority of my dahlias. I do have some out in the dome that I still have to plant up, actually, but these are doing great. Look at them, they're starting to pop already. And I'm trying a new canna variety this year. Now this was supposed to be well, there are strawberry root plants that I started in here, but then I noticed, I believe those are sunflowers popping up in there, and I left this out like that so I could kind of peek in when it was really cold. And we actually had snow on the ground yesterday just to see how things were doing, and these guys were standing nice and tall in here, so I know the temperature was just right and I didn't have to worry about it. I did throw a blue sheet over these just to give them a little love, but I don't think they really needed it, because they all did great in here. We did run electricity, and there's actually even propane out here, as well as water. The water we had to unhook during the freeze because it's not heated in here, and this could actually freeze up. So we did have to turn that off. Wasn't a big deal. By this morning, I was able to turn it back on at the house and water my plants, which might need it again because it's kind of toasty in here. The heater's right up there, which it is not working now. We don't use the heater in this greenhouse. Hello. Stay there. And honestly, judging by how this held up during this cold snap without having heat in it, I've got the perfect things in here, because it did what it needed to do, just to protect and give me a little extra growing time in my garden here in Northwest Ohio. Well, thank you for joining us today on this video. I hope it gave you a little idea of what it's like to have an unheated greenhouse in your garden. Also keep in mind, I'm in Ohio, which is hardiness zone 5B6. And if you need to get a hold of me, or if you'd like to see other creative living ideas, check out my website at brenhaas.com. You can also find me on social media at brenhaas. Hope to see you there. We gotta get planting. We have more trees to plant, don't we?